Hey YouTube, Shinobi here with a review of the Power Rangers Super Samurai, Samuraizer Morpher. So this is basically the 2012 version of the Samuraizer. Obviously we had the one from before that came out before the show started actually. This is a redo, I suppose you could say. I'm not going to say it's a repackage because there are new features, some features removed, and the mold is a little bit different. So it's not a straight up repackage like the Spin Sword was. They just added some sounds to it. This is a fairly new mold, so there are some new things to do with this one. So as you can see, it's in the new Battle Gear style package with the elongatedness and stuff like that. It shows all of the new toys in the back. And a preview for the Super Bazooka. Haven't seen the Bazooka anywhere yet, but as soon as I see it, I'll pick it up and review and all that fun stuff. So here's the Samuraizer. Yay, it's a Samuraizer. Go Samurai and stuff. So, I don't have the original Samuraizer to compare it to, but I do have the Samurai Morpher. So, considering that they were the same thing, I'm just going to compare it to this. This has most of the same colors and everything that the original one had. So that really isn't too different. So obviously when you can stack them up next to each other, a lot of it is the same exact toy. The original release did have this cutout plastic section right here at the hinge. Backs are pretty much identical, except this one has a longer battery compartment because it needs more of the little cell batteries. If you flip it open, some things have changed. We now have a button right here. Actually, these first two rows are one singular button, and I'll show why in a second. They solided this. Solided, that's not really a word, but compared to the hollowness right here. So that's different. And then instead of having just a sticker on the screen that says new message, it's morphin' time, or whatever it said, you get a removable little screen thingy that you can put in there. So those are basically the main differences besides the sounds. The original one you had things like
It's morphing time. It's morphing time. Nice job. Time to go. It's morphing time.
things like that. This one actually has sounds and phrases that are relevant to this show. So let's go ahead and go through those. There's 5 of them.
Samuraizer. Go Samurai. Symbol power. Jayden. Kevin. Mike.
There we go. So it says Samuraizer, Go Samurai, Symbol Power, Jayden, and then Kevin says Kevin and Mike says Mike. So there actually sounds relevant to the show. I would have preferred to have Emily and Mia in here in some fashion, and that's a little bit of a disappointment, but boys' toys, they don't want the girls. One thing you might have noticed as we were cycling through those sounds was there's a light. Yep, there is a light on top of here now. So when you hear the press the button,
Mike. Kevin. Go Samurai.
the light will light up compared to what is said. You can also press either of these 6 buttons right here to make the light up manually. It's actually a pretty decent light. I've used it as a flashlight a couple of times. But yeah, so you have that. One thing that is a huge disappointment about this toy is there is no morph sound. Before with the Samuraizer and the Samurai Morpher, if you held down this button, you would get the morph sound, which was taken directly from the Shodophone. This, on the other hand,
Mike.
nothing. There is no morph sound in this. Granted, the Samurai group doesn't particularly have too much of a morph sound, but I would have liked to, when you press this down, hear the, I'm not going to say brush strokes, because it's not a brush anymore, but the little laser sounds that they make when they write in the air, and then that sound that it makes when they flip over. That would have been enough for me to make this an actually pretty solid toy, but they decided not to include that, which is a bit of a shame that there's a Morpher with no Morph Sound. Yeah, let that sink in. So, anyway, this screen does come out. It's kind of difficult. You can actually do it from the bottom. That works, I guess. So, this is the one that came pre-packaged in it. You also get a red Shogun Ranger, the Samurai Megazord, Jayden, Kevin, and Mike from Origins Part 2, maybe? And then Jayden, Kevin, and Mike in the cockpit of the Samurai Megazord. Now, obviously, with these two, the girls were cropped out because LOL boys toys. Yeah, I mean, they weren't cropped out of this one, so you got one at least. That shows the entire team. However, I am pompous, and I want the Shogun Ranger on my screen, because I actually really dig that design, and I think it's really neat. So, he's now my wallpaper. So, hooray. Just a real quick comparison to the Shodophone for the people who didn't watch the Samurai Morpher review. Obviously, you don't have the hump of the brush, since the Shodophone can change into the brush mode, something that the Samurai Show doesn't even do. So that feature, rather, being removed makes sense, because we don't have it. You can tell there's huge size difference. Pretty big size difference. No light in the button here. In fact, this isn't even a button on the Shodophone. All the buttons are right here. And this one just activates the light. And there is no light on the Shodophone besides the one right here in the center of the little directional pad. So, yeah, this one is accurate completely in size and shape to the Samuraizer in the show. So if you want something accurate, you're going to want to hunt down the Shodophone. If you don't really care about screen accuracy and you just want a representation of the Morpher, this isn't actually a horrible toy. You got the light, which is something that was missing out of the first one. So you can actually kind of reenact the laser strokes. The sounds are relevant to the show, so that's a plus. And the sounds actually aren't that bad. They're fairly loud. They sound decent. And this was updated to say 2012 right there on the timestamp instead of 2011 on the original Samuraizer. So that's a plus too. But not having a morph sound really just kills this toy. If you didn't pick up the original Samuraizer and you want a representation, go ahead and pick it up. If you really want something screen accurate, hunt down a Shodophone. They are expensive, but if you're so die-hard for it, then that's something you'll have to pay for. If you didn't pick up the Samurai Morpher or the Samuraizer yet, then this is a better pickup, I think, than the first one, considering the first one doesn't make an accurate morph sound anyway. But it's still an overall pretty crappy toy. So I can't really recommend it unless you absolutely want a representation of the Samuraizer. But just keep in mind that it's still not completely accurate. So, you can check out ShukenShinobi.com for latest updates on my reviews and hauls. And of course, check out RidersRangersandRambles.com, bringing the latest Toku news in the craziest way possible. So take care and have a great one.